Welcome, dreamers, to the Dream Stream. I'm here today with fellow dream worker Ellen Ronis, and of course, my name is Yiskah Koock, and I'm excited to work on dreams with you. But you were just saying you haven't had any dreams throughout this entire pandemic?
Yeah, it's just, and this is, Yiskah, you know me from the world of dreaming.
You're
So
prolific.
yeah, like, and so this is just the weirdest thing. And every night now I'm like, please, just let me know my soul is still there, or something. Like it's
Absolutely.
nothing.
Absolutely.
I've had
Nothing at all.
a couple teeny snippets like earlier on, some of which I think I presented in one of our gatherings here, and
And you
other things.
wrote them down?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did write them down, but
Because
we also
even the littlest image from our subconscious mind, if I feel if we write it down, then we tell our deeper self that we're paying attention to
yeah.
all of it. So hopefully bigger dreams can come.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. I mean, yes, that's a good point. And I have been incredibly, what's the word? Overwhelmed. I mean, like most of us, but I'm doing a lot. I'm trying to do a lot of different things. Like I'm trying to reinvent myself. Oh,
Yes,
just that. Yeah, trying to reinvent myself. I'm a massage therapist. Of course, I'm out of work, like
yes.
most of us, and
That's
have
probably like the fourth stage of reopening where you can actually touch a person,
absolutely. And
you
in
know.
fact, we're allowed now to start as of June 1st, but a lot
Wow.
of people are feeling very insecure about it because
Yeah.
protocols are a little wishy-washy, and everyone's just a little bit like, yeah, we're like in people's faces. I mean,
I
so.
think that now my understanding of the spread of this virus is that it's just airborne and it's not from surfaces.
Oh, really? I'm not. I've heard that it's less likely that you get it from surfaces, but it's very possible. That's what
But
I just read
but
somewhere.
like that it's because I don't wash my groceries in the sink when I
No,
bring
I'm
them
not
home.
doing that either. I
I
was at the
don't
beginning.
do that. You were,
I was, yeah.
yeah.
And, and
I don't.
now I don't at
And
all.
if I get a package, I want to open it. You know,
Hmm. Yeah.
but I don't want to be stupid. But I've been hearing or reading. Actually, I've been reading, and Governor Cuomo's been saying that.
Hmm.
So hopefully
Yeah.
it's only a matter of respiration and we cover.
Well, but as a massage therapist, I mean, I literally am in people's faces, right? I mean, if I'm sitting at their head and working on their neck.
Uh, but you need to wear a mask.
Well, we all need to. So
Yes.
I did two sessions. Um, one was at somebody's house, and one was at an office space that I share with someone, and we wore masks, both of us, and it's
Yes.
awkward and uncomfortable, and I can only do it for an hour at a time, so no more 90-minute massages. Just
Okay. Yeah.
anyway,
60
all
minutes is the limit.
is the limit. Yeah, and all this to say that it's made me really think a lot about how I actually really want to work and how much
Yeah.
I really want to work in the world of being a body worker. Like,
Yes.
do I want to work in that same way? And it's really, it's been great to actually think about all these things. And now I have to sort of put some of those new thoughts in place. I have to actually
Yeah.
I'm working differently now. My energy is going to be different. My work is going to
Yes.
be, that's always challenging. And then I'm
Yep.
also trying to reinvent myself to do something completely different. So
Totally.
in the world of sort of therapy and coaching and things like that, and art,
And
and
art and art and
yeah,
art.
art.
Yeah.
There's
I
a lot.
think art, well, I don't know. If it
Yeah.
were my dream, I would really look into art therapy.
Yeah. Yes. Well, I am actually, and I just, yeah, I am looking into it. I mean, I'm there already.
Yeah.
But it's
Yes.
it's a lot, and it's a lot of technological stuff that I don't know of. So it's very over. So I all this to say, my head is so full of just overwhelm, and the details. What shall I focus on? How do I put a Facebook thing up? How do I do this? All the technological stuff that one needs to do in order to build up the mailing list, to start a new business, et cetera, et cetera.
Yes.
So I wonder if maybe that's why I'm not dreaming, because there's just this incredible overwhelm in my mind that
Yes.
maybe just doesn't stop. I mean, I feel like I'm sleeping. I am sleeping.
Ellen, you can do bibliomancy, which I love, which
Yeah,
take a book and just ask a question
that's a great idea.
and open it and see if there's any oracle wisdom for you. I always like to have a connection with higher worlds so
Yeah,
that I know I'm on the right track.
yeah, exactly. Because there
Yeah.
is that feeling of when you have like a juicy dream, even if you don't know what it means, that
Yes.
right, what you feel sort of there's a soul connection. It's like, oh,
Yes.
I'm not, yeah, I'm not
Exactly.
alone in this. There's,
Exactly. Exactly. I
yeah.
talk about this. You haven't heard my new podcast, but I'm doing a podcast called Mindful MS, where I'm
Hmm.
just talking about my experiences and my struggles with these 24 years having MS. And I'd love for you, any listener who has MS or who has a family member or a loved one with MS, please give it a listen.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'd love for you to hear it.
I actually turned my friend on to your. I didn't know about that particular podcast, but
Yeah.
I was on a pod. I've been on your podcast several times before you
Yes.
in video, and she was so interested. She was so and she has MS. I don't know if I said that. She has MS.
Oh, you didn't, but this
Yeah,
is
she has
perfect for
MS.
her. I
Very.
wonder if she'll, because I want to talk to other people and see what their experiences are.
Yeah,
Because,
she's
like,
very progressed. Very progressed. She's been in a wheelchair for many, many years now.
okay, well,
Yeah.
like any illness, it affects each of us differently.
Yes.
Everybody has different symptoms and different hardships. So, I would love to talk with her.
Great. I will definitely make sure that I get the specific information about that podcast.
Okay,
Pass it on to her.
wonderful.
Yeah, good.
So I have a dream, Ellen, that well, I'm just gonna tell it. I'm not gonna
Good.
say anything about it. So I'm sitting in a big, like, white leather chair. It's like double double wide, so you can sit with someone. And I'm sitting with a woman, and then this ex lover of mine comes and sits down with us in the seat, but I don't know. So I'm going to call him Bob. So I don't know if it's Bob or if it's Joe Rogan. Do you know who that is? He's a podcaster. He's like a pretty famous guy. Or I have another friend. I'm just going to call him Jim. So so I don't know if it's either any of those three people, but then I think it's Bob, this old lover of mine. So then the woman I'm sitting next to in the chair gets up and walks away. And then he and I think we're at the foot of a bed. And I say to him, how have you been through all this role playing? But I mean to say lockdown.
Hmm.
How have you been through this? I don't know if I say all this. How have you been through this role play? But I mean to say lockdown. And we both get a big laugh about that. And then he says to me, oh, okay, I wish I had my phone in my hand because I can't remember it precisely. I think he says to me, okay, you be the clan leader. And I say to him, I don't want to be the clan leader. That sounds like the Ku Klux Klan. I don't want anything to do with that in a role play. And then that was the dream.
Hmm.
So, what I want to say is, of course, everything going on with George Floyd, who lost his life when the cop kneeled on his neck, and there's riots happening and all that. When I dreamed this, it was when the murder had already happened, but before all the looting and riots and the bigger deal. So this was almost, in a way, it was, for me, it felt a little like maybe prophetic, not prophetic, but like telling me something that was coming. Um,
So I'm sorry, you had this dream before that happened, before he was killed?
I had the dream after he was killed, but I think that night, and then only first reading about Minneapolis, and then since then there's been many different outbreaks of protest.
Right. Right.
Yeah, and I
Mm.
thought it was so interesting because I bring up this, my dream brings up this imagery of the Ku Klux Klan. So that's back. So this has been going on, for hundreds of years. I mean, I was thinking that I think the one killing that reached me, one of the most deeply, was the killing of Philandro Castile. I think that's how you say his name, where he was just telling the cop, "Look, I'm a legal gun carrier. I have a license. I'm gonna open my glove box," and the cop shot him. And the NRA said nothing. The NRA said nothing. And he was in the NRA. And the part that got me the most is that his girlfriend and her daughter, her 3-year-old daughter, were sitting in the back seat. And then the girlfriend says something, and the baby says, "Oh, mommy, I don't want you to get shooted too." Like, and then of course everything, every shooting, it's terribly upsetting. Back to Emmett Till, this is a long racist history, and
Yeah, hundreds of years. I mean, this
hundreds of years.
it's like nothing has freaking changed.
How is that possible?
How is that possible? It's sickening. It makes me
Happening also in New York, which is like the diversity. How is that possible? I think of New Yorkers as, like, I don't know, more awake to things like that.
I know.
So
It is sickening, maddening. It makes me want to like cry and scream at the same time.
I know I do cry and not scream, but I feel like, oh, I should go to a protest and
Yeah,
scream.
exactly.
This is not okay. I mean, I know I'm white and you're white, but our friends are black.
Totally.
I mean, I can't stand that this is happening.
Yeah. No.
This injustice.
Yeah. No, it's really, no words. No words.
Yeah.
It's just unfreaking believable that this is still happening. It makes me sick almost to be a white person. I mean,
I know.
It doesn't really make sense either, but
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very
very
unbelievable,
upsetting.
very upsetting. So,
So
but
clearly,
yeah.
I was just gonna say, so clearly this dream,
because that had happened.
That
the man just had lost his life. Because I read political comics. I just saw a link for it, and I was reading political comics, and a great one was Lady Justice, with the scales lying down, and the cop with his knee on her neck and her scales behind her. It's like, you're killing justice. Justice is murder,
Yeah. Yes, in the name of justice, right? In the name of justice, I'm doing, whatever action cop is taking.
Whatever happened to protect and serve?
Yeah.
Who are you protecting?
I don't know if you've heard about this aspect of this whole thing. This is now that there are groups of people who are policing the police. So in New Mexico and Santa Fe, something happened. There was I don't know what it was, but there was a cop stopped somebody, and a black guy, and they were searching his car, and they had him sitting, I don't know if they had handcuffs or whatever behind his back, and he was just sitting on the curb, and they were searching his car. And there was one person saw it and literally went across the street, sat on the curb and watched the whole thing.
That's right.
And then 5 other people came and sat and watched the whole thing.
That's right.
And they sort of reported, kind of, I don't know how they filmed it or whatever. I didn't see it.
Right, just film it on your phone. Everybody's got a phone.
They're policing the police. And it turns out, they let him go. They didn't find whatever it was that they were looking for. Nothing happened. But what the fuck, excuse
the
me,
fuck?
on a
What the
public
fuck?
forum.
I mean, this kind of murder, I mean, do you remember Eric Gardner, where
Yeah.
the cop strangled him? Are you kidding me? This is killing someone with your bare hands,
Yeah, this
sapping the
is your
life,
own rage, whatever that is, and your own.
sapping that life out of that
Yeah,
human being.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but so I'm, that's outrageous. I'm really glad to talk a little bit about that with you. But I'm really also curious about the guy in the dream. So I wanted to talk about, so this guy Bob and Joe Rogan, and then my friend Jim. So what do they all three have? I mean,
They're all men, for one thing.
I don't know if Joe is, but the other two are very handy. They can fix anything, both of them. I don't know if Joe Rogan can. Joe Rogan talks a lot about psychedelics. I'm just going to try to make that connection. So,
You
but
know him personally, or he's just somebody you?
no, no, I just know him from YouTube. But I don't know. I've never really spoken about psychedelics with my friend, with Bob, my ex-lover, and my friend Jim. Well, we used to always get high together, but never did any other, mushroom or anything. So that's can't be it. I don't know. There's something very manly about all three of them.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
handy. So that's
I do.
handsome.
I have a hit. Can I just
Yes, please.
kind of like riff and go in and out of, not necessarily do the order of the Robert Moss questions and stuff?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
You
I,
rebel.
I know I am such a rebel. I can't. Yeah, it's more like my brain is not orderly like that. So, what was my hit when you said this
Manly.
Joe Rogan and he's a podcast about what's his podcast about again?
Oh, no, it's just him talking to people. So he talked to someone who was all about mushrooms and wearing like mushroom leather hat. And
Okay. Oh, I know where I was going with that.
okay,
So somehow I'm mixing up all my sort of metaphors in terms of the dream world.
okay,
So if if I'm looking at this as Jungian style, then all of these men are
yes,
masculine. Each have a masculine part of you, or how
yes,
you know what I'm trying to say. They're
yes,
the animus in
animus.
you, right?
Yes, yes,
That's one way to look at it. And he to me, it almost feels like your connection to your own podcasts and your own YouTube things that are really, you're starting to expand,
yes,
grow, and maybe wanting to make more connection to the world with what you do and
yes,
who you are. And maybe there's some connection there with him.
yes.
That struck me immediately when you said that. Like,
Okay, yeah,
because the masculine, my understanding of that type of energy, whether whether it's in a man or a woman, is really about like forward motion,
yes.
biggest forward motion.
Yeah, so maybe I recently read, so Joe Rogan's had like an independent YouTube channel, and then he just got paid a lot of money to do his podcast on Spotify. So
Mhm.
that's the news, and I'm trying to find a host for the Mindful MS podcast that I'm doing now. So SoundCloud is my current host for DreamStream, but for the Mindful MS, and I was thinking maybe I will go to Shutterfly, and maybe that's giving me that guidance to go forth with
Yeah,
Spotify.
maybe. Yeah, maybe if that was on your mind, certainly.
It was on my mind.
I mean, all
Yeah.
I can say from this perspective is that it feels for me, if it were my dream, I would wonder if there was a connection between that person being in my dream
Yes.
and kind of snuggling up, like almost
Yes.
in my imagining of how you were telling it. It's like you're sitting on this 2-person couch, and then he comes along and or
Squeezes right in next to me.
and so he's like, wait a second, I have, I want to be a part of this. And so maybe
Yes.
part of you that's like, yeah, I'm, you know,
Ooh, I love it.
yes, yes
And
to whatever I'm thinking about.
there's also another woman, and I have no memory of what she even looks like. So, I'm not sure what she
In the
might,
dream,
in the
oh
dream,
yeah.
sitting with me on the two-person
Mm,
leather chair, and then he kind of
right,
squeezes in.
right. I forgot about her.
But
So
she leaves.
she leaves.
And I'm not sure then if it's because it's Bob, the guy that I used to be involved with, or, I mean, because I was never involved with Jim. He's just a good friend, you know, um, also very masculine. And I, of course, have never been involved with Joe Rogan.
That's
So,
good.
yeah. So, well,
Hmm.
thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then it just feels very disparate pieces. Like what I want to know is, what does role play have to do with lockdown?
Yes. Let's look at that for a second.
Yeah.
Hmm. Do you have any like hits on that for yourself?
Well, I just think people who are on lockdown with their lovers
Okay.
can have some role play. But I mean, that's a different vein than the role play in the dream, which went darker, went.
Right. Well, do you have any sense, like when you think of role play, just in not even in the dream, but just in like what's your hit on role play? In
I think of my good friend Nikki, who is really into it
hmm
with various people.
hmm
I don't think well, that's not true.
maybe
Actually,
in some way. Okay.
I have done a little bit of role play, but it's never been like a big kink of mine.
Well, in role play, I mean, it is interesting that that's where you went with it. But role play doesn't have to be a sexual thing,
Oh,
right? It can
but it is in my mind.
be in your mind, right? So then that's
What else could it be?
yeah. Well, I mean,
Like Dungeons and Dragons.
yeah, yeah,
Dungeons and Dragons.
yeah. Like I'll be the. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I'll be the you be good guy and you be the bad guy.
Yeah,
That's role play, right? Like
yeah.
kids like that all the time.
Cops and robbers kind
Yeah,
of thing.
yeah. That's
Okay.
I went with it, but it's yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, that's what I mean to say.
No shame whatsoever. All good. All good. All good. And and maybe there is something to that, like some, and again, like in dreams, I often like if there's something about a lover or like some
Yeah.
sexual thing, it is of
Yes.
course isn't always that what's the word? Not obvious, that it's not always real. What's the word I'm looking for?
I'm not sure.
No, like true or real. Like it's not necessarily about sex. It's not
Oh,
like
yeah.
it's a dream that you're having sex with somebody
Oh,
or
yeah. And it's
some kind
about
of sexual.
spiritual connection,
Right.
or
I mean, it could be something, but it
yeah.
could it's like that deep soulful connection to something or
It could also be about death, you know? Maybe. I mean, I don't know, just the
yeah,
opposite.
it could be. Depends on what stage of the sex you're at,
Right.
for sure. Right? I mean, I don't know. Maybe it has some something to do with like how you want to like cleave. Is that the right word? Come together
Yeah. Yeah.
with each one of these people, but it's not necessarily the people. It's maybe more the qualities.
Okay. Okay.
Does that
Yeah.
make sense? Is that too heady? Because in my head I get that, but
Well, I kind of get it, but
yeah,
I don't know what
yeah, it may not.
qualities those would be. I'm
Yeah,
not
it may
sure.
not resonate.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
and what do you make of the foot of the bed? Is that something that's
Well, it's funny because I mean, I always call it the foot of the bed because you put your feet, that's where your feet go. So this morning my son came and lay down with me, and he was horizontal in the bed, so his feet were like on me, and I'm like, you haven't taken a bath in a couple days. I don't want your dirty feet on me. That might be, but I'm like, put them at the foot of the bed. That's why it's called the foot of the bed.
That's so funny.
So that's my association.
Yeah. So that was after the dream, though, right? That was
That,
after the dream. That
that
happened.
was like simultaneous.
Okay.
I might have called it that because I had just said it to him, or vice versa.
There's something about like the right direction,
Yeah.
the right order of things.
Right,
That's
right.
go with it. Hmm.
Yeah, it would be interesting to sleep with my head at the foot of my bed and my feet at the head of my bed.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it would be, because I think I remember reading that in some native cultures, you sleep with your head to the east,
Mm-hmm.
and the east is where my feet are. So I'm sleeping with my head to the west. So maybe if I sleep in the opposite direction, it will be, oh, but no, my my bed cane is on the other side of the bed. I can't do it.
Yeah, yeah, we can't always do the proper feng shui thing.
We can't always do the
Yeah,
proper feng
do our
shui thing.
best. Sometimes you can do a little fix, with a crystal or something to
Yeah,
mirror or something to kind of reflect the energy and things like that.
yes.
There are fixes for things if it feels energetically not right. Um,
Mm.
but yeah, hmm.
Speaking of my son, in the last podcast, I spoke about, he had a dream and he was excited to tell me about it just as we were waking up. And he dreamed that he was packing and that he could move things with his mind
Hmm.
just by thinking about it, pack his things. So, and then more recently than that, he had a dream that there was a monster in town in New Paltz, and that he was hiding in a barn and was so scared.
Hmm.
So I also wanted to talk about that. I mean, I could only attribute that with the coronavirus. It is a scary time to
Yeah.
go out and
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
in
And right.
town.
And in town, right? In public.
Exact. The monster,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it, do you know there was that really scary monster movie made here in New Paltz on that bridge after the Water Street Market? There's that bridge that
Yes.
goes, the movie called a quiet a quiet thing, or a quiet time. It was about, you couldn't make any noise because then these monsters would come and eat you. It's filmed on that bridge.
Oh, really? Oh.
A monster. But he never, of course, not of course, but he never saw that. Some people might show their kid inappropriate
Does
movies.
he tell you anything else? Like, do you explore dreams with him? I mean, it's probably it's a little difficult when to look at somebody else's when you can't really ask them, well, how did that feel and what did it look like and
Oh, I do
does it?
to a point. I mean, I think that the best, most meaningful way for a child to do dream work is to draw a picture
Yes,
and to,
definitely.
transfer
I
onto
think
that.
adults too, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that does remind me, actually. Okay, do you mind it? We're kind of all
Oh,
over the place.
this is the way we talk.
We do.
The
I
way
do
we talk.
remember a dream image. This was quite some time ago, at least, I don't know, maybe 4 weeks ago or something.
Okay.
It was an image of a tree, kind of on a horizon. It was just the tree with nothing
Wow.
around it, almost looked like an African sort of sunset type of thing with this tree. And then it was like white paint, like strips, like not a paint stroke, like a paintbrush. It was like chunky strips,
Oh.
like lightning. It's so hard to explain. Actually,
Oh.
I have a picture. Hold on.
Oh, good.
It's just a sketch. And it has some writing that I don't
Is
necessarily.
this from a dream, Ellen?
This was from a dream.
Okay.
And like I have some writing here that I don't necessarily need everyone to see. It's okay. I wrote archetypes and shaman. Anyway, you can't even see it that well, but so
So, okay, I see. Oh, yes. Yeah.
there's the tree, right? I mean, it's
Awesome.
a quick little sketch, but there was
Yeah.
this kind of chunky line
Ah,
on just this part, not around the
okay.
whole thing. And it felt, I know that's really not a very, because it was really very striking. It was white against this,
Wow.
very, a regular brown and green screen.
Yeah, yes.
Dark white kind of line.
Yeah, like an outline.
It was like an outline, very thick white.
Yes.
So I do have no idea. I mean, it felt a little like lightning there, but there didn't seem to be any storm, and it was odd that there was that right there, like
Okay.
in that section. And I never really explored it, and it just, I'm glad I wrote it, did this little sketch of it, uh,
Yes.
you know, and just so I could like remember that I had that.
Yes. Yes. What would that mean to you? Do you ever put outline? I know you do art. Do you,
No, it's nothing like, yeah, it was, in
did,
fact, I thought, oh, I'll paint this, but I was like, it's so
I
not,
don't want to paint this.
I
Did
don't
you
want
as a
to.
child? My sister, she was also very artistic. And as a child, she was so good at coloring in the lines, but she always then put a darker border. But though this is a white border.
Yeah, it was a white
Yeah.
border. Yeah, it definitely felt like, like lightning was striking like that part of the tree, but it didn't really look like lightning.
Oh,
Like,
right.
like a lightning strike,
Wow.
but it wasn't like the
That's some,
arrow coming. It just didn't. Yeah, it was
wow.
some version of lightning, I think,
That's
and
so neat.
yeah, it was kind of wild.
Powerful image.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wanted to say the movie is called, I think it's called A Quiet Place. And that's the bridge in Newport. And the other thing I want to tell you, I got really into adult coloring books
Uh
with,
huh.
with pastels and also colored pencils. And I used to do that with my son back when we actually did more together before he like became obsessed with his computer. Um,
Uh,
and and I was coloring and he was coloring. He's like, Mom, do you know you don't have to color in the lines? And I was like, I don't know if I know that. I don't know if I know that.
wow.
And he was just taking different colors and lightly going over the, uh, the image so that,
Mhm.
it was colorful. And I was just, and that taught me so much. I actually didn't know that. No, actually, I didn't know that.
Right. Isn't that funny? Like, well, and here it is, this thing, this picture that's got black outlines. Like, what else are you like? It's like
Yeah,
they're telling you basically to color inside the line.
exactly. And no,
Yeah.
you did. It's just I learned so much from
Yeah.
the
Well, isn't that great that
youngsters.
he knows that at least, right?
I'm
Like
I'm so
the next
glad that he knows
generation.
that. And
Right
that
on.
I didn't crush him into having to color in the lines.
Right. Yeah.
No, that's wrong.
Yeah.
No, I
Yeah.
was like, oh, I didn't know I know that. Now I know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somehow like we know it, but we don't really know it when we see a thing
Yeah.
like a coloring book where it's the natural thing is to try to color inside the lines.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, is there anything else that you want to explore in terms of your dream
I
or
think
your son's dreams? I don't. It's a little harder because I can't ask. I would want to ask him, like, how did
yeah.
it feel to be able to put your stuff in those, to pack your things?
Yeah. I
Was that
know.
cool or was it weird or scary?
Telekinetic,
Yeah,
it's
sounds really cool to me. Like,
I would like to do that.
powerful.
And
Yeah.
I explored with Brendan in the last podcast, was that a lucid moment? And we decided it must have been if he
Mm,
was moving things with his mind, you know? Well, maybe not. Who knows? I mean, it's hard
it's
to
hard.
do someone else's dream. I think for how I can honor this dream is I absolutely have to get involved in this struggle Black Lives Matter or something. This injustice cannot stand. Cannot
Mhm.
stand.
Mhm.
And so that is what I want to do, to bring this into the world.
Mhm. Mhm. Great. That's awesome. I'm with you.
Yes.
I'm really with you on that. Yeah.
So let me know if you see any actions that I might get involved with. I can also let you know if you're interested in getting involved. I just want to be a loud voice.
Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be plenty. There probably already is plenty of things.
Mm-hmm,
I certainly know
mm-hmm.
that there's things that people are doing locally and
Yes,
demonstrations and things, and but I'm sure
absolutely.
petitions
I wouldn't
signed.
be able to do like a protest
No,
because of my
right, exactly.
limitations, but
Mhm.
I'm sure I could write a letter to the editor and I can make phone
Yeah,
calls, do whatever.
yeah. I'm sure there's. I can't imagine that this. I mean, this is. It's ongoing, so there's
This
got to be
is
already things that
absolutely, absolutely.
so freaking frustrating. Like, what is it going to take? I mean, what really?
What?
It's
What is
just.
it going to take?
Is
I
it gonna,
mean, total change, total change.
yeah,
You know, this is very unacceptable.
yeah. Agreed. Agreed.
So, well,
So,
I thank you, listeners, and I wish everyone safety from this pandemic and also from injustice.
mm,
And so I never have my phone with me. Tell me sweet dreams in a different language, my dear.
mm, bon rêve in French.
Bon rêve.
I don't know how to say dreams in Hebrew, but I know how to say lilac.
You say holamod metukim. So
Oh, okay.
holamod would be
Yeah.
dream, and
Okay.
sweet.
Sweet. Yeah. Holamod metukim.
Yes.
And what else?
Dormer. No, that's sleep. That's not
Buen
dream.
suerte? No, that's good luck. No, wait. Is that dreams or luck? Buen suerte is luck.
No, I
But I
think
know.
Swente. No, I think it is dreams.
Okay.
I think. So, and I have a friend of mine gave me in three dialects from
Uh-huh.
Pakistan where he lives. So I want to at some point also say those.
Nice.
Okay, write down your dreams, dreamers.
Write down your dreams. Ask for them before you go to sleep. Have
Yeah, incubate your dreams.
yeah.
Ciao. Bye,
Yeah.
Ellen. Because
Bye.
we're going to get cut off when I.
Okay.
Oh, wait, we might not actually.